Thank you for joining the Fishbowl with Jade. You could have chosen to do something else with your time. However, you choose to listen to me, and for that, I am grateful. Tonight, we are going deeper than we have ever gone. So put on your scuba gear and let's get started. You know what is interesting about society? No matter what somebody looks like, somebody always has something to say. Too skinny, too thick, too tall, too short, too dark, too light, too curvy, not curvy enough. It almost feels like people are constantly being measured against trends instead of simply being allowed to exist in peace. And tonight in the bowl, we are talking about body shaming: the skinny, the thick, the athletic, the naturally petite, the full figured, the people trying to gain weight, the people trying to lose it, and the pressure society places on all of us to fit whatever beauty standard is popular at the moment. Because lately, I have noticed something online that keeps coming up. Whenever someone is naturally small or thin in stature, people immediately begin diagnosing them through a comment section. They need to eat. They look unhealthy. Something must be wrong. And what is interesting is that thinness used to be heavily glorified in certain decades. I remember watching older television shows from the 70s and 80s: bell bottoms, fitted shirts, lean body frames, natural figures. Men were slimmer, women were slimmer. And I can't recall anything about anybody looking unhealthy simply because they were naturally thin. But now society has shifted again. And that is the thing about beauty standards. They constantly change. At one point, people were bullied for having fuller lips. Now people are paying thousands of dollars trying to achieve those same lips. People were bullied for fuller hips, wider thighs, bigger backsides, wearing glasses, having freckles, natural hair, darker skin, lighter skin, braces, gap teeth, or simply looking different from everybody else. Now, many of those same features are trends, cosmetic procedures, filters, enhancements, or beauty goals. That should tell us something important. Society often criticizes people first and then monetizes the very thing it once mocked later. And honestly, you cannot win if you spend your life trying to satisfy public opinion. Because on one side, naturally thin people are told, you need to eat. You look sick. You need some meat on your bones. Real women have curves. You look too small. You look like a child. And then on the other side, fuller figured people hear, you need to lose weight. That is unhealthy. You need to go to the gym. You would look better smaller. You should cover that up. So, where exactly is the safe place to exist? That is the question, because body shaming is not always about health. Sometimes it is about control. Sometimes it is projection. Sometimes it is insecurity. Sometimes it is trend culture. And sometimes people have become so comfortable commenting on other people's bodies that they forget there is an actual human being attached to the image they are criticizing. And let us also talk about something else society does. People confuse different with wrong. Everybody is not genetically built the same. Some people are naturally lean. Some are naturally curvier. Some gain weight easily. Some struggle to gain weight no matter how much they eat. Some are athletic by build. Some are fuller by genetics. And not every body shape automatically reflects someone's health. That is another dangerous thing social media has created: visual assumptions. People look at someone's size and immediately assume healthy, unhealthy, lazy, disciplined, attractive, unattractive, successful, undesirable, all based on appearance alone. And honestly, that mindset can become harmful very quickly because some naturally thin people struggle with insecurities too. Some are trying desperately to gain weight. Some are dealing with medical conditions. Some are exhausted from constantly hearing comments about their size. But society often dismisses body shaming toward thinner people because people assume smaller bodies are automatically privileged or desired. Meanwhile, fuller figured people have spent years navigating unrealistic standards: public criticism, bullying, dating bias, workplace judgment, and assumptions about their health or lifestyle. Both sides experience scrutiny. Both sides experience pressure. Both sides are often told their bodies are wrong. And it starts young too. Children get bullied over body frame, height, glasses, acne, clothing, braces, hair texture, body development, weight, or simply not fitting in physically. Some children are mocked for being too skinny. Others are mocked for developing early. Some are teased because of the size of their chest, their legs, their backside, or even the shape of their face. And what is sad is that many adults carry those childhood wounds into adulthood. Some people are still battling insecurities created by comments they heard at 13 years old. That is why words matter. And another thing we need to discuss is how quickly trends influence self-worth now. Social media constantly rotates beauty standards. One decade, everybody wants to be extremely thin. The next decade, everybody wants curves. Then suddenly, everybody wants athletic bodies. Then cosmetic procedures become popular. Then filters reshape faces entirely. The standard keeps changing, but people keep chasing it. And honestly, constantly chasing public approval is exhausting because trends evolve faster than self-acceptance. One of the deepest problems in modern culture is that many people no longer know what they actually like about themselves because they are too busy comparing themselves to whatever is currently being praised online. And let us talk about the cultural side of this conversation because body standards are not universal around the world. In some African, Caribbean, Latin, and Pacific cultures, fuller bodies have historically been associated with health, beauty, prosperity, fertility, happiness, or being well cared for. In other cultures or time periods, thinness was associated with elegance, discipline, fashion, wealth, or social status. That means beauty standards are often shaped by culture, media, economics, history, and trends more than people realize. And when you really think about it, society's definition of ideal changes constantly depending on the decade, the country, the celebrity influence, the fashion industry, and social media, which means many people are exhausting themselves trying to fit standards that are temporary in the first place. And another layer to this conversation is health, because body conversations become dangerous when people start attaching morality to body size. Society often assumes skinny equals healthy, bigger equals unhealthy, or vice versa. But health is much more complex than appearance alone. Some naturally thin people struggle with illness, anxiety, eating disorders, stress, medication side effects, or medical conditions. Some fuller bodied people are active, healthy, strong, and taking care of themselves. Some people gain weight hormonally, some lose weight from grief, depression, or illness. The reality is this: not everything is visible from the outside. And honestly, people need to stop assuming they know someone's story simply by looking at them. Another important layer is that men experience body shaming too, even though society does not always talk about it openly. Men hear too skinny, too short, not muscular enough, too heavy, too small, balding, weak, not masculine enough. And many men silently internalize those insecurities because society teaches them to suppress emotional conversations about body image. And let us also discuss what social media and filters have done to reality itself. People are comparing themselves to edited photos, filters, surgery, lighting, angles, Photoshop, cosmetic procedures, AI enhancement, unrealistic influencer standards. Some of the beauty people are trying to achieve online is literally manufactured. And that creates dangerous comparisons because many people are measuring themselves against images that are not even real. Another thing I find interesting is how society treats confidence. Sometimes people become uncomfortable when someone is comfortable in a body society told them they should hate. A confident, skinny woman bothers some people. A confident, full figured woman bothers some people. A confident person with natural features bothers some people. Why? Because insecurity is profitable. Entire industries make money convincing people they are not enough. And honestly, confidence threatens people who are still struggling with comparison themselves. That is why some criticism is not really about concern. Sometimes it is projection. Sometimes it is envy. Sometimes it is unresolved insecurity. And sometimes people criticize others because they are uncomfortable watching someone embrace themselves freely. And another thing, society often treats appearance like morality. Attractive people are sometimes viewed as more disciplined, more worthy, more desirable, or more successful. Other people are dismissed based solely on body type or appearance. That is dangerous because human value should never be reduced to trends, sizes, or aesthetics. Human beings were never meant to look exactly alike. Some people are naturally slim and healthy. Some people are naturally fuller and healthy. Some people are athletic, some people are petite, some people are naturally curvy, some people are struggling privately, some people are healing physically and emotionally, and some people are simply trying to survive in a world constantly critiquing them. And maybe that is the deeper issue. We have become so conditioned to judge appearances that we sometimes forget people are carrying real emotions behind those bodies. So, tonight in the bowl, we are asking, when did society become so comfortable policing people's bodies? Why do beauty standards constantly shift? Why are people bullied for features society later glorifies? And why are so many people struggling to feel enough in a world constantly trying to redesign them? Because whether somebody is slim, thick, curvy, petite, athletic, tall, short, natural, enhanced, wearing glasses, wearing braces, or simply built differently, people deserve the freedom to exist without constantly being treated like a public debate. And maybe the real goal should not be trying to fit society's changing standards at all. Maybe the real goal is learning how to be comfortable being yourself in a world constantly trying to convince you that you should not be. Thank you for stepping in the bowl with me. Now let's come back up to the surface and decompress. Share this episode with someone that needs to hear it. You can listen on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, iHeart, YouTube, and Good Pods.